welcome to the discussion. This is a open forum format discussion video in which we discuss certain things that we picked up on throughout the weeks. My name's Luke, you might recognise me from some other LIG Studios productions, and I'll be the host of a brand new one starting in a few weeks' time.
And my name's Ian. You won't recognise me from any of the productions, maybe a voiceover on one of them. I'm usually behind the camera. I'm the production manager for LIG Productions, and I'm going to be taking part in this, and this will be my only on-camera job.
Because he doesn't like being on camera.
But I do like a good cafefe.
You had to get the cafefe comment in, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, I was going to probably close with let's go get more cafefe, but yeah.
We can still close with that. Anyway.
We have two things to discuss this week.
Yep.
As our first one, we will be discussing Ariana Grande and the unfortunate events that happened in Manchester, which is where we're from, if you can't tell by our accents.
Yeah, if you can't tell by accents, we are from the Greater Manchester area.
We'll also be discussing a controversy that happened to Evergreen State College, rather. It's not a university, they have different names for them in America.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to start with the Ariana Grande thing, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, just quickly before that, the forum for this and the basic layout of this is we're going to be putting our personal opinions forward. Now, this is my personal opinion and Luke's personal opinion. It's not the personal opinion of the studio as a whole. It's just our personal opinions. And as with the title, it's a discussion. So we welcome your opinions and your comments below.
Also, we'd like to point out from the offset, we have no political party affiliations.
Nope.
We have no company affiliations.
Nope.
And unless stated otherwise at the beginning of the video, we're not being sponsored. If we're being sponsored, we will inform you, and there will be something along the bottom of the screen, the entire video saying who we're sponsored by. We
don't do product placement or anything. If we do, it will be announced well in advance.
It's the cafefe mugs.
Yes. In a matter of full disclosure, these videos are monetary.
Monetized, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, this is to cover our costs, and also LIG Studios is a working business. So, alongside with that, to be able to put things like this on, we obviously need to monetize for certain reasons.
So, look out for the chicken noises.
Yes, chicken noises equal us swearing. But anyway,
as I was saying, Ariana Grande. Obviously, for anyone that doesn't know, this video is hopefully going to be released on the 3rd of June, which is a Saturday. The following night, she'll be putting on a benefit concert for a charity organisation in Manchester to pay for those affected by the tragedy that happened on the 22nd.
Yeah, I believe the charity is the Manchester Emergency Fund that was originally set up by Oxfam.
Yeah.
Though we will link to any affiliated charities below. We're not personally raising money for this. This is just a discussion, and so on.
I'd personally like to avoid anything that's going to happen about the concert till afterwards, so we might make a mention of it next week, and our personal view on some things that happened about it next week. But what we would like to address is the treatment of the performer Ariana Grande around what happened on the 22nd. Now, my personal opinion is I'm not a big fan of her music, but that's music taste. I have no problem with her as a person.
No. To be fair, I couldn't name one of her songs off the top of my head. Not really my taste in music, but I do know of the actress.
She worked herself as a child actress on Nickelodeon, so...
Yeah, as the actress and singer.
That's how little research I've done.
Anyway, this is obviously the events that happened on the 22nd of May. Unfortunately, 22 people lost their lives in a suicide bomb at the former MEN Arena in Manchester, of which the youngest was Safi Rose, who sadly died due to her injuries, I believe on the morning of the 23rd. She was 8 years old. That is the only name of any of the victims or of anyone else involved in this. We're not going to glorify any of it. I personally think that Safi Rose is worth mentioning. She is the youngest victim, just to show what sort of atrocity this was, that they were aiming this at children as young as 8 years old. I don't believe she was the youngest injured. I believe there was someone younger than herself injured, but she was the youngest victim that sadly lost their lives on that day. But this video isn't about that incident.
No, this part of the video is more concentrating on the backlash towards Ariana Grande. As I said, I'm not a particular fan of her songs or her music, but as a person, I have no issue with her.
No.
I think she did what she could before leaving to go back home to see her family, because it was a very emotionally turbulent time.
Yeah.
And especially when if you're in a position where you open yourself up like that on stage to complete strangers, there is some level of wanting acceptance.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose on the same level you do open yourself to a certain amount of critique and criticism, but not in the extent of...
could go screw himself.
Yes, the backlash that we're particularly talking about on this little small segment of this part is the backlash from Piers Morgan. Now, Ariana Grande tweeted on the night of the incident, apologising, saying that she was so sorry she didn't have words, which to me makes me think that she feels somewhat to blame for it, which I don't think she was. I think this event would have happened.
I don't think she was, but at the same time I can understand why, because I'm sure most of us would feel guilty if something that we'd arranged had caused so many people so much harm.
I can understand that, but this would have happened if it hadn't been an Ariana Grande's concert.
Irregardless, someone
would have happened.
Would have done something at some point that would have hurt other people.
This group were adamant that this sort of thing was going to happen, so it would have happened. But to Piers Morgan, to go about Piers Morgan's comment, he tweeted that if he was in her position and he'd entertained a group of fans that large and something like that had have happened, he would go and he'd visit them in hospital. Well, my personal opinion, one, Piers Morgan, you'd never have that many people in one place to look at you. There's not that many idiots in the world that like you. I'm sorry, there just isn't. And number two,
you don't know until you've been in that situation. Yeah. You can't know until you've been in that situation. No. It's such an unusual situation that until you're in it, you can't know how you'll react.
I honestly think I probably would have crumbled worse than Ariana, to be fair. I don't think I'd have been able to cope. I really don't. And as for you saying that you, Piers Morgan, that you'd go and see them in hospital, people in hospital want to get better. They don't want to be scared by you. They don't want to see you. It's not going to help them. Seriously, stay away. Never, ever, ever go to a children's hospital, ever. Please.
I need to mention, in a roundabout way, there was a little girl who I'm afraid I don't know the name of, who when celebrities and people of name value, because obviously we want to class the Queen as a celebrity, but people of name value were visiting, Theresa May did turn up.
Yes.
And this one little girl told her to go away.
Yes.
If you're watching, or if any of you member of your family are watching, please feel free to comment. We would relish reading out what you have to say on this programme.
And if you are watching, go to your mum and dad and tell them they need to quadruple your allowance, your pocket money, because if you're not getting paid it needs to start at least £100 and go up from there. Seriously. And if you are watching, please get in contact with us in one of the forms below, either direct message or anything. We'd love to be able to get you on Skype for the next episode. Any member of your family.
Obviously not about the tragedy, we'll be leaving that alone.
But about the actual off-the-cuff comment that you made, because of everything that happened in the aftermath of that, in the last few days, the one thing that I saw was that made me smile.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of things have happened in the aftermath of this. Obviously, as a big thing, we are Mancunians, we are also British, and in a true spirit of Britain and of Mancunians, this group that wanted to do this to try and separate people and terrorise people,
instead.
Yeah, it had the opposite effect. It caused a big tragedy, don't get me wrong, but it united a country, and especially united Manchester against this sort of thing happening. It's not the first time we've been hit with it. It probably won't be the last time that we're hit with it, but every time anything like this happens in this country...
You try to make it so that white Englishmen and white British people felt more animosity towards Muslims to increase your recruiting numbers. We've embraced those that are against you even more.
And they've embraced us even more than that. I mean, I don't know the particular gentleman's name. I will put a picture of him up here. I was trying to find out his name as well. A particular Sikh gentleman that was a taxi driver. On the night that this happened, obviously with Victoria Station being shut down, a lot of people ended up stranded. They couldn't get home after the concert. People that were coming on incoming trains, were connecting trains, were stranded. Two things happened. The taxi community and trades of Greater Manchester, not just the city centre but the Greater Manchester as a whole, whether they were Christian, Sikh, Muslim, whether they were Jewish, it didn't matter who they were, whatever, if they had a taxi, they were doing it for free.
On the night they would just Mancunian, that's all that counted.
And there was a hashtag going round on the night that actually happened, which I believe was Room for Manchester.
Yeah.
And if anyone had... The amount of people that were to social media, both Facebook and Twitter and everything, just saying, I have a spare room, I have a spare couch, I have a warm place that you can spend the night.
I have tea.
Yeah. The hotels,
nothing more British.
The hotels that opened up, the shop owners, the cafe owners, the community of Manchester that went back into work at 1 a.m. in the morning, opened up, made sure the emergency services had everything they needed throughout the night, made sure the victims had somewhere warm to be, the rooms, the taxi drivers that just ferried them free of charge from the scene to...
Anywhere.
Yeah. From what I saw on the news, there was one taxi driver that was literally pulling up, picking people up. Where do you need to go? We're from, let's say they were from Glasgow, we can't get anywhere. Right, do you want me to find you somewhere for that? Yes. And the taxi drivers were taking to social media and answering the hashtags Rooms for Manchester. People were allowing complete strangers into their homes. They were embracing them. They
even more so, the Muslim community was also embracing complete strangers into homes, and they could have been scared for what would happen to them.
Yeah, apart from a few idiots in Oldham where things went wrong, that was a minority. That was a very, very small minority.
That's a different thing for a different day.
Yeah, that's not Manchester.
Unfortunately, due to time constraints, we're already up to over 10 minutes, so I'm going to take us from tragedy to controversy.
I just want to mention one last quick thing about this.
Okay.
Obviously, this event, Ariana is coming back. She said she was coming back to Manchester. She is. She said she was going to do it before the year's out. She's done it before the month's out. She's done it within 2 weeks. On June the 4th, 2017, at, I believe it's the Old Trafford Cricket Ground, there is a benefit concert led by Ariana Grande, and she also has many other A-listers such as members of One Direction, Justin Bieber, Katy Perry. I believe Eminem is turning up.
This event managed to get the Gallagher brothers talking, so who knows?
Yes, there's actually rumours going around Manchester that the Gallagher brothers are going to appear on stage together for the first time in nearly a decade. Oasis is going to reform for the first time in a decade.
Congratulations, you've managed to put the two most hateful people in the same room together.
Yeah, so well done on that. And for any of you that didn't see it, Oasis songs...
In fact, as a Mancunian, all I can say is cheers.
Oasis songs have been a big thing in the ever since this happened. We'll try and link some videos below, but obviously due to time constraints, we can't stick to this. We're going to move on to our second subject.
Evergreen State College.
Yes.
Professor Bert Weinstein, a biology professor from the State College. Now,
this is obviously one that I came across while surfing the internet, looking for subjects. This show in general is just an off-the-cuff show. It's not something we've been planning for a long time. Myself and Luke have a lot of these sort of philosophical decisions and discussions on a daily basis. We can ring each other when we're not working for a supposed 5-minute call, and 2 hours later and my phone bill's sky high and whatever. But we've come on to this. This is something that I found that I brought to your attention earlier on today. In full disclosure, I showed you the videos.
Yep.
This is my thing that I'm bringing forward. I've asked Luke to say his views on it on camera. Now, as Luke said, this is about Professor Bert Weinstein. Now, Evergreen State College is it's a liberal arts college, a liberal arts and science college. Yeah. It's in Olympia in Washington in the USA. Now, around about this, the bit of the backstory is this is about a thing called Absence Day.
in which the Afro-Caribbean community at the college voluntarily goes off-site for the day. That's faculty, students, support staff, everyone of Afro-Caribbean descent.
Now, this is... Sorry, I have got a piece of paper because I'm going to read parts of an email out from Professor Bert Weinstein. Now, for those of you that don't know, Absence Day, I only learned myself a day ago. Absence Day is taken from the theme of the Douglas Turner Ward play, Day of Absence. And this is kind of associated with that. Now, what it basically was, this minority group go off campus, they go into a safe place off campus to discuss on-campus issues. They voluntarily leave college for that day, don't turn up to their lessons and go to this. That is fine. That is free will. That is freedom of speech. It's free will. That is your right as a human being, not just as an American.
No.
It's your right as a human being. Now, that's the normal way of doing it. What they wanted to do this year is they wanted all the non-minority and the white population in particular to have to be told that they have to leave campus that day. Now,
which in itself is a form of bigotry discrimination. Yes. It doesn't matter that Caucasians are the majority of the college. All that matters is that you are saying about another ethnic group, you must leave.
There is a big difference between voluntary leaving and being told you must leave. Now, I'm going to read a little segment. This isn't the full interview. This isn't the full email. Now, this was meant to be a private email, which was since made public. Now, this is from Professor Bert Weinstein, and this is a segment out of it. And it basically states, there is a huge difference between a group or coalition deciding to voluntarily absent themselves from a shared space in order to highlight their vital and underappreciated roles, and a group encouraging another group to go away. The first is a forceful call to consciousness, which, of course, crippling to the logic of oppression. The second is a show of force and an act of oppression in of itself. Now, a lot of people are saying, there is other parts to this, and we'll link to the full email below, and I'll put a few images up on screen. A lot of people are saying that the controversy basically around this is they're saying that Professor Bert Weinstein is being racist in this. Now, in that segment that I've read, which is the main segment that this controversy is about, I don't believe in there he said anything racist. I mean,
no.
He's saying that it's not fair if you want to leave college for that day, that is your choice, but it's not fair to make other people that are paying for their education to have to leave. If they want to carry on this, so why should they have to leave?
Yes,
what do you think about it? I
think that this Absence Day is a voluntary call. I don't think that all Afro-Caribbean students have to leave on that day, have to not turn up for that day. I believe it's their choice. They've chosen to. If they choose not to, because either they think it's not going to get anything accomplished, they could get more accomplished with complaints or with meetings with faculty, then more power to them. If they think that they're going to accomplish more by getting in the forum and getting a group behind them and going as a group and saying, we think this needs to change, more power to them. I think possibly the biggest controversy from the email is he said, but phenotype aside, on college campus, one's right to speak or to be must never be based on skin colour. How is that race? That's the antithesis of racism.
Yeah.
That's saying it shouldn't matter the colour of your skin. It should matter that you're the best person for that role.
Yeah, well, that specific part isn't obviously about that. He's been brought into controversy once before for a previous email that this college is trying to put an ethnic council in place to sort out certain things and make sure that equality in hiring faculty members, which personally, I mean, on this, I personally think I will link the other email below. It's not something, I'm not going to read it out, it is a lengthy email. And basically what he states in that email is that it shouldn't matter what sex you are, what colour you are, what religion you are, what your sexuality is when you're being hired for a job. What should matter is at that time that you are qualified to do that job, that you have the background to do that job, that you can bring something to the faculty that no one else can.
That you are the best person for that specific role at that specific time.
And that should be the way that every job in every country is taken. It shouldn't matter, I've got 50 brown people and only 2 white people, or I've got 100 white people and only 1 brown person. End of the day, if I've got 100 white people and 1 brown person, but they're the best at what they do, I'd rather have that than have a complete mixture of just stupid different amounts.
I think the worst thing for racism has been this call to make sure that you have a certain quota of ethnic minorities.
Yeah.
It's the same for sexism. It's damaging of sexism to say you have to have a quota of women.
Yeah, that you're gonna hire unqualified people to do a job just because you haven't got.
Because then within the company itself, it's going to cause even more tension if the person is only being hired because of their skin colour, or because of the gender, or because of the sexual orientation, or whatever it is.
Yeah,
because they're going to be unqualified, they're going to make more mistakes, they're going to be more hostility, especially if it's an internal promotion.
Yeah.
Because the people that are getting passed over are going to look, but I know I'm better for that job.
Yeah. I mean, this is...
if they're saying, I know I'm better for that job because I know I'm white, curb.
Yeah.
But...
That's a whole different story. I mean, that's our basic opinions on these. I mean, there are a few videos. There is one particular video of a group of students that went into Mr. Bridges' office, who's the college president, and one of the questions that was asked is what's being done about notifying the faculty, saying that have you notified the faculty that we aren't in class because we are protesting this?
That we're going to be late on our assignments because we are protesting.
Our assignments aren't going to be in.
All of us are students and have homework and projects and things due.
I know.
Have you sent an email out to our faculty letting them know?
No.
What's been done about that? Because we're all here on our own time.
I'm eating cake, girl. That is the first thing I'll do. I have not done it yet.
So they need to be told that these assignments won't be done on time. And we don't need to be penalized for that.
I don't know the names of all the students here.
We'll just send it to all the faculty.
It matter.
I need some privacy, folks. I'm sorry. Okay. I have claustrophobia.
Oh, okay. And we endure hate crimes on your campus and we pay to be here for it.
That students of color have to work in threatening environments every day.
Come on, baby.
Welcome. Get to work.
On time, and we shouldn't be penalised for this. Now, my personal opinion is you've decided to be there of your own free will. You've decided not to turn up to class of your own free will. You've decided of your own free will, which you have the right to, that you're not going to do that paperwork. But of your own free will, you've decided that, so you knowingly decided that you should knowingly accept the consequences. If you are penalised for it, it's because you've decided not to do something. Why should you get special treatment because you decided not to turn up that day to protest, yet someone else who turned up to that class and didn't do it gets penalised?
I'm sure we're going to get mentioned. It's going to get mentioned at some point in some video, so it might as well be done now. I'm a bachelor and you're a master. We've both graduated from universities. And I don't know about you, but when it came to my assignments, I always tried to leave a buffer time in case of something popped up. Obviously not a protest. I'd never think I'm leaving a buffer time for protesting. I'm leaving buffer time in case 3 days beforehand I get far too drunk to the next day actually write anything.
To be fair, I normally did most of my assignments the night before they were due to be handed in.
I'm a more responsible student and he's the masters.
And to be fair, I was drunk most of the time that I was doing it. As I've stated plenty of times before, I still think it was a fluke.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think it's offensive to other students to have to disqualify all the work they're putting in because you've decided you don't like something, which I don't see why you have the issue in the first place. I might be saying that from a position of so-called white privilege, and I'm saying so-called white privilege because I'm not exactly privileged. This is Britain, we work on a class system. It doesn't matter that I'm white, I'm working class.
That goes for all of us, by the way.
But so I think making someone else, especially because we don't know, someone else that could be suffering because you're trying to decide that you want this, could be a member of your own ethnic minority. You're hurting someone that you're saying you're trying to stand up for while standing up for them. That makes no sense.
Yeah. Anyway, on this, obviously due to time constraints, we don't want to make this a really long video. We want to open up the forum to you. In the comments below, or on our Twitter, on our Facebook, there will be an email address below. Feel free to comment, feel free to message us on Facebook, tweet us, email us, send us email pictures, anything. We want to know your opinions. We want to know your perspective. This is our perspective. This is our opinion.
We will be choosing the best, both for and against, if we can.
We're not just going to pick all the good
however,
comments.
we will also choose some of the worst against comments, aka trolley comments, mostly because I want to have some fun with you.
Yes, we will abuse the
I
trolls.
won't abuse.
Yes, you will.
Okay, I will. But
Someone will cry. And if you do cry, take a picture and send it to us. We need a giggle every now and again. This office gets way too stressful sometimes. But on that mark, we're going to end today. One thing I do want to mention beforehand, if you're one of the people lucky enough to go to the benefit concert and you watch this, then please send us your videos, send us your pictures. We'd love to show them at the beginning of the next episode. We're going to do a slightly longer episode next time, because there's a few other things about this concert that we want to mention later, after the actual concert and once everything's been done. But again, if you're at that concert, please take a picture, send it to us. We'd love to see them. We're happy. We'll show as many as we can.
Yep.
We'll take the time to address as many comments and everything as we can. Like I said, everything is below. We will try to respond to comments as we can. But bear in mind, we are a functioning studio, so we do have time constraints. We have
deadlines of other projects.
I'll put the false teeth back in and start again. We do have time constraints on other projects, so we can't always reply straight away. We will endeavour to do so as best we can. However, if you are going to say that we are wrong about something, please link the reference where you have got it from. If you're gonna tell us we're wrong, and we may be, show us the proof.
if you can prove it to us that we're wrong, we will we'll record a retraction at the beginning of an episode.
Or we will record a specific episode for a retraction if it's an urgent one and we have got something majorly wrong. We know we're not infallible. We're human. We may get mistakes, but we'll admit our mistakes. Anyway, for us, it's it for this week. Next week's show, like I say, it'll be a little bit longer. We'll have a little section at the beginning with all your comments, all your feedback from this show. If you've enjoyed the show, please give it a big thumbs up, give it a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe so you know when our videos come out. And please join in the conversation, join in the discussion, message us.
Until next time, don't be
and cafefe.
Speaking of which, I need some more.
Yes. But, cheers guys.
Where the bloody hell's the button? No, seriously, where the bloody hell's the button?